My name is Neal Jose Wilkinson. My vocation was influenced by my family, by my exposure to Jesuits during high school, during the university, and especially after the university, a couple of Jesuit spiritual directors. My decision to become a Jesuit was made when I was 17 years old. I didn't want to rush into anything, so I waited another 17 years to follow through. At the time I entered the Jesuit novitiate, my family wanted me to be happy, wanted me to do what was the right thing for me. My friends were generally supportive, and it was very interesting. My unchurched friends were some of the most supportive of my Jesuit vocation. Being a Jesuit has enabled me to enter a number of different cultures, different family situations. I decided to become a Jesuit because I realized from talking to my spiritual director, who was a very, very human, very flawed individual, that my first call was to be myself. At the time I entered the Jesuits, I was a seminarian for the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. And so it was a major detour for me to enter the society. And as my call to be a Jesuit was a call to be myself, being a Jesuit means that I'm calling other people to be their very best selves in the particular situations in which they find themselves. I've enjoyed working on the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota, in parish ministry in Minnesota, and continuing in parish ministry here. My current assignment is full-time Hispanic ministry in the Archdiocese of Omaha. It is a great adventure, and I love it. Being a Jesuit means to me that I'm sharing in the life of 19,000 men around the world. And one of the greatest blessings of being a Jesuit has been having contact with other Jesuits from different places and with different experiences. We are united by our love for Jesus, which is really animated in the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius. And sharing this love has been the greatest blessing of my life. I've talked about this, that I have a product that I really believe in. And if somebody's in sales and somebody's in marketing, sometimes they have to sell something that they're not that excited about. But what could be better than the love for Jesus and Jesus Church, which is calling all of us to be our very best selves. One of the ministries in which I've been involved is post-abortion healing ministry, which is loving souls and encouraging them to come to honesty and to accept the healing love and the mercy of Jesus Christ. This is yet another culture in which I've entered. I think the roots of my Jesuit vocation were planted long before I was born. My mother was the oldest of 10 children, and her father was a graduate of Marquette University in 1898. And he was very involved with Marquette University, and Jesuits would show up at the family dinner table, and they would show up unannounced on Sunday nights, and there was a little signal, FHB, family hold back, meaning the children would not get as much to eat because Father so-and-so has shown up. And at the dinner table there was lively debate, there was a lot of questioning, and from this my mother learned a love for the faith and a realistic reverence for the clergy. And she learned to question very respectfully, and it was because I grew up in this atmosphere of very respectful and reverential questioning that I feel most at home in the Society of Jesus. We are reminded that God has no limits, and when we talk about Jesus, we each talk from our own personal perspectives. But one of the things I love about the church is the richness of the cultures, the richness of the perspectives we each bring to the table. I'm very grateful for my Jesuit vocation. I can't imagine doing anything else, and I am very happy to recommend it if someone is truly called. One of the things that attracted me to the society when I was thinking about being a Jesuit was the response of those in charge of formation, those in charge of vocations, was, we want you to be a Jesuit if that's where God is calling you. But God calls other people to the very holy vocation of marriage, to be parents of children. God calls other people to be dedicated single people in various works and various places. But I believe that the Company of Jesus, this group that Ignatius founded, has much to offer to the world. And one of the things in my formation, when I entered the Jesuits, I was 34 years old. And I was impressed with how old I was, but then it came to me that Father Ignatius was in his 30s when he changed his life. He was 45 when he was ordained. In the 16th century, that's much older than it was in the late 20th century, much older than it is now. And there is room for all kinds in the society, and I've known all kinds of characters, wonderful human beings who've been touched by the love of God and have touched many others with God's love. And I look forward to many more years as a Jesuit, serving Jesus, serving his wonderful, beautiful, fascinating, frustrating church.